best way to get profits is definitely partnerships, right? So if we're talking about going into deeper partnerships with artists, deeper partnerships with other companies that are music adjacent, right? I'm going to say alcohol and music go hand in hand. More of those partnerships, because they don't just benefit Mdundo, but they benefit us.
I still think that there's a huge potential in the more streaming, Western way of consuming music, but it does fit a audience that across Africa is, to me, is a niche. It's a smaller audience. It's also a high value audience, so we do think that there's a lot of money to be made in that space, and we're excited to see that streaming services are generating revenue in that space. But we think that when it comes to the mass market across the continent, we need to have a local solution, an individually tailored, easy to use solution to reach that mass market and generate revenue from the millions and millions of customers across Africa who can access such a service.
When we're looking at a space like Mdundo that thankfully has run for a decade, like you said, many have come and gone. It's not for nothing that you've come to a decade. 20 million people is not, and it's even 20 is me speaking shyly. It's over that. It's not a small feat. So for me, on the side of the artist, the best that I can do is make sure that really good music goes onto the platform. People know that it's there. People know that as Africans, we rally behind this beautiful African thing because it is very Africa-centric. And if we can push for the like I had said, for 30-40% growth year on year, because we are many in this continent, we are many.
So, yeah, a huge number.
We're so many.
As a business in the music industry, the best way to get profits is definitely partnerships, right? So if we're talking about going into deeper partnerships with artists, deeper partnerships with other companies that are music adjacent, right? I'm going to say alcohol and music go hand in hand. More of those partnerships, because they don't just benefit Mdundo, but they benefit us, right? There are a lot of artists like me who are not just the singer, but the marketer, the proposal writer. How do we get more synergy in those things so that if the company runs, that means we still get paid, and if the company runs and we do things together, that means everybody gets money. So my answer would be more partnerships and synergy with artists and music adjacent brands. I don't even say music adjacent brands. I'm like anything, you know. I'm like, okay, headphones, water. You have to drink water to keep your. I think it's marketing.
There are very many milestones and very many ups and downs over the years. And to be completely honest, I'm not of the opinion that we made it at this point. I think we are only starting as Mdundo. And I think that the next 10, 20 years is a lot more exciting to me than the past 10. In my point of view, we've just gotten started. It definitely was an adventure that when I started in my start 20s, I expected it to be 2-3 years and then I move on to something else. I did not expect it to take 10 years. And I think if I had told myself back then that 10 years later, I'll say it's only the beginning, I'm sure I would have stopped immediately and said, okay, I'm not going to spend the next 20, 30 years doing this. But today I'm really happy about it. I think a big part of it is that we've had a team that is extremely passionate about the music industry, who wants to make it work, who's very energetic. I think we have an energetic team of people who come in and wanna make things happen by the end of the day and want to see a change, and who understands that we are privileged to be part of this journey. And I think a big part of it is that we've also been good at listening to how is the market, what in the market is working and what is not working, and let's focus on what's working. And everything that doesn't make financial or user sense or growth sense, even if it's feeding your ego or whatever else it might be, giving you a story in the news, let's put it aside and focus on what is real value for us, for the rights holders, and for our shareholders.